So I'm going to show you how to create your fins using TinkerCAD. You should already have an account. You should be able to access it via Safari. I'm going to use my computer, but it's going to look identical to what you will do on your iPad in Safari. So go into Safari, go to tinkercad.com, log in. It'll bring you to this screen. Okay. My name here, your name should be here. Here's all the parts I've ever created. We're going to create a new design, so click that. My workspace is going to load up. Now, the first thing I need to do is I need to change this work plane or workspace. Okay, this is a portion of your grade. It's very important to getting the sizing of your fin correct. So I'm going to go to Edit Grid. We want to change our units to inches. And down here, we're going to change width to 2 inches, length to 4 inches. Okay, update grid. It immediately changes. Now, you want to be able to draw or create from above the image. So over here, this block, if I click top, it rotates my plane. I also want to click switch to different view here. So I should have this box. And just so you know, fit all in view. If I click that, it should zoom in for me if I have something in my workspace. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a fin. You want to remember that you want it to be aerodynamic. You also want it to be creative. We're going to use the shapes over here on the right hand side to do that. And I'm just going to create something quick for you so you can see how that process works. And I also want to remind you, the best fin design for each class gets to 3D print their fin. So I'm going to combine a couple shapes here and show you how this works. So I'm going to use my box and I'm going to put that on here. Big thing, guys, you got to make sure that all your shapes for your fin fit inside of this workspace. They cannot go outside of it. If they do, it's going to be too large. So I put my box on there and I'm going to shrink my box to a height of 1/8 of an inch. Okay, you see that? I click this box here and I pulled it downward. If I pull it up, it'll get taller. If I pull that box back down, it gets shorter. 1/8 of an inch is kind of what I want to use for how flat it is. If I use this button, it goes up or down the whole shape. And I don't want that. I want it to just sit on my workspace. I'm going to go back up here to top, so I'm looking at it from above. I'm going to click fit all in view so that it does that. And I can zoom out a little bit here. Okay, let's see. What do we want? If I want something triangular, let's bring the roof on here. The problem with the roof is this does not look like a triangle from above. I need to rotate it. I want this face to be upward. So I'm going to use one of these arrows, click and drag to rotate 90 degrees. Now if I go to the top and I look, that looks like a triangle. I could also rotate it this way if I wanted to. Let's see, maybe we want it like this. We'll bring it over here. Let's make it a little taller, make it a little wider to match. That's looking pretty good. Now my one issue is it's probably way too tall. Yep. So I got to shrink that to 1/8 of an inch again. And somehow when I created it, it went below my workspace. So I need to use this arrow to bring it back up. Should read 0 on the right side here, meaning it's on that surface, and it sure looks like it is already. I'm going to go back to my top view. Okay, I need these shapes to touch. They do not touch. They're not going to connect for me in the end. What I want to do now, and I can do this kind of as I go, I'm going to click one, and I'm going to touch the other one or click the other one. So now they're both selected, and I want to combine these to make them one piece. So I'm going to come up here to the upper right corner. I'm going to click on group icon. And when I do that, they connect and they are now one shape. And if I change something about that shape, it does it to the whole thing. Okay, I didn't want to do that, so I'm going to click this back arrow to undo. Maybe I want to add one more thing to this. If you want, curved pieces, let's say, or let's cut something away so you can see how that works. I'll just cut a piece off the bottom here. Maybe I want it to be a little bit angled. So like the body of my rocket would be right here. That's how I'm envisioning this. This is the bottom. This will sit on like the launch pad. And this, I want this aerodynamic so that the air flows down and around. But maybe I want just to add some style points here to kind of cut an angle on this bottom piece. That would kind of look cool, I think. I think I'm going to actually use a box and just use the one side of it to cut. So I'm actually going to use this box. This box is for cutting. So I click that and pull that on here. It's gray. You can see it's going to make a hole. So anywhere it overlaps with my other shape, it's going to cut that piece away. So like right now, it overlaps at that little triangle. If I were to cut it, it's just going to cut a little notch out of this. It's not going to create this big piece. It's just going to cut this little triangular piece out. So I want it to overlap where I want it to cut or get rid of my original shape. I can also take any shape and make it cut. So this would be a solid, but I could change it to a hole. So it will cut a coned shape hole in anything that I have it overlapping. I don't want that, so I'm going to delete that piece. I'm going to go back to my top view so I can see this correctly. And I'm going to position my square where I want it. So I'm going to pull this down here. I think I'm going to just make it more like kind of rectangular. And I need to rotate it so I get, because right now it's just going to, you see where it overlaps here would cut out that kind of a weird notch. I want to rotate it so I get like a little bit of an angled piece. Yeah, that looks kind of good. So envision this. I want it to overlap everything. I got to get it the way that I want it. Make sure it overlaps everywhere. That's good. It's going to cut this triangle out. So I'm going to be left with this bright green shape. And that's what I want. So what I'm going to do, just like when we added the two shapes together, I need to have this shape selected. And I'm going to click this shape now also. So they're both selected. And we're going to go up here to group. And because this is one that is gray and a hole, it's going to cut away because I have this hole feature selected. And that's just because I selected one of these two shapes because they're already set up to do the cutting. So I'm going to click group and it cut away. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to have happen. There's my shape or my fin. Now, I kind of want to fill this grid. I'm happy with the shape of my fin, but I kind of want to fill the grid to make it a little bit bigger. Right now, it might be kind of small if we were to print it. So I'm going to drag this corner to get it to kind of like the size and shape that I want. It doesn't need to be the entire work surface, but you do want it to fill kind of a large portion of it. Last thing would be is to share this and send this to the assignment that's in Schoology. So what I want to do is I want to go to send to, go to the bottom here. We're going to invite people, generate new link. And we're going to take this link right here by clicking copy and we're going to paste it in an assignment in Schoology, and I will be able to access your drawing and make sure that it's all correct. So you're going to click copy. It may look like copy didn't get clicked. That's okay. It actually does work. So you click that one time and then you're going to go over into Schoology and you're going to create a new submission and you're going to paste that link in the correct assignment. Okay. The assignment will be TinkerCAD Fins. You want to paste it right into TinkerCAD Fins as your submission and submit it. And I will give you a score based on your originality and creativity. Did you create something that was your own? Design accuracy. Were all your pieces connected or did it look kind of shaky? And was your workspace configured correctly? And I showed you how to do all of that. Okay. Good luck, guys. Have fun.